The international break is over and Chelsea are back to business. A trip to City Ground to face Nottingham Forest. An end to Ange Post-no-glou growing misery. Let's talk about team news, key returns and exactly how we plan to beat them. But before we dive into this preview, first of all, if you are new here, welcome to the channel. But if you have been following me for a while, you know the drills. We're on the road to 10k subscribers, so make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's dive into it. Chelsea arrives at the City Ground absolutely buzzing after that emotional 2-1 win over Liverpool at Stamford Bridge. And let's be honest, that game, that was different. You could feel it. The energy, the noise, the emotion. And everything about that night screamed turning point. William Exoval, the 18 years wonder kid, who just joined from Maresca and now see himself to the Premier League with a stoppage time winner. And that's the kind of moments that flips a season. It wasn't just 3 points, it was belief. Even Rizé said it perfectly after the game. A big statement, a step in the right direction. You could see what it meant to him as captain. It wasn't just relief, it was pride. Now let's not pretend it's been a smooth sailing. We lost 3-1 at home to Brighton. We are frustrated, disjointed and flat. And fans were already asking questions over Maresca's idea. But football moves fast. One big result, especially against Liverpool, can flip the entire mood. And that's why this Forest game is massive. It's not just about momentum. It's about proving that Liverpool wasn't just a one-off. We have shown we can rise for the big nights. But can we grind that result away from home? If we win at City Ground, it sends a message that we are not just building something exciting. We are building something consistent. Meanwhile, Nottingham Forest are in chaos. Ange Post-no-glou was brought in on 9th September to bring the attacking football. But it hasn't worked yet. No wins in 6 games, 2 draws, 4 defeats. And fans already chanting for his head after that 3-2 Europa League loss to Midland. The crazy thing is that he's the first Forest manager to start a regime without a single win in his first 6 games. That's pressure. You can see he's trying to implement a possession-heavy system. But right now, the player looked unsure. And the results are not just coming. Ange Post-no-glou keeps saying he's not worried, that the process takes time. But he even admitted a win would accelerate growth and belief. So basically, he knows what is at stake. So that's where this game becomes so interesting. For us, it's about momentum, control, and continuing to climb back where we belong. For them, it's about survival, belief, and holding off a crisis. We are walking into a stadium that will be desperate for a home win. But if we play with the same intensity, structure, and hunger we showed against Liverpool, I genuinely think we'll win this game. Because right now, we are starting to look like a team that is finally believing again. Let's get into form, because it really does paint a clear picture getting into this game. Starting with Nottingham Forest, it's not looking good. They have been leaking goals for fun. A 3-0 hammering at home to Arsenal, a 2-0 loss to Newcastle, and they have dropped out of the League Cup. Ange Post-no-glou's men looks like a team trying to play progressive football without a structure to back it up. You can see what he's trying to build: possession, aggression, attacking width, but the execution, it's nowhere near ready. Even their new signing hasn't really changed the story. And defensively, they're all over the place. They have conceded multiple goals from set piece, twice from corner against Midland alone, which is ironic because Ange Post-no-glou Tottenham side had the same issue. Now on the flip side, Chelsea's form paints a more brighter story. We sit 7th after 7 games, 3 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses. We have managed to score 13 goals already. Joint 4th best attack in the league. It hasn't been perfect, and we know that. The Brighton defeat at the Bridge was a mess defensively. We gave away cheap goals and looked way too open. But there is a clear difference in mentality now. Against Liverpool, when we considered the equalizer, most teams would sat back and take the draw. Not us. We went for it. That response, that refusal to settle, is exactly what Enzo Maresca is trying to build. The game wasn't just about tactics, it was about character. You can see the young squad starting to develop a spine. There is aggression in our press, there's structure in progression. And there is a little bit of arrogance, that belief that we can hurt big teams. Now, if we look into recent meeting between these two, the story is actually interesting. Back in May 2025, we beat them 1-0 away from home. Before that, it was a 1-1 draw at the Bridge in October 2024. A bit further back, May 2024, we edged 3-2 in a wide game at the City Ground. But yeah, September 2023 still hot. Forest came to Stamford Bridge and left with a 1-0 win. That's one of those games that summed up our inconsistency under Mauricio Pochettino. And even earlier in May 2023, it was a 2-2, another messy draw when we could have queued off the game. But when you zoom out over the last 10 meeting, the pattern is clear. We have won 6, they have only won once, 3 draws, and that tells you everything. At City Ground, it's been mostly our playground. We either take win or battle out a solid draw. Rarely do we leave empty-handed. Forest hasn't been able to beat us consistently, and when they do, it usually takes something special, like a smash and grab at the bridge 2 seasons ago. The trend is pretty straightforward. Chelsea holds the edge, not just historically, but mentally. We have learned how to manage this kind of fixtures. Forest might make it look tight. They might want to turn it into a scrap, but more often than not, we find a way through. Let's talk about potential returns. Because let's be honest, before the international break, we were in survival mode. Injuries everywhere, suspension, and players just running on fuel. But now things are starting to look a lot better. First off, Trevor Chalobah is back. He missed the Liverpool game after that red card against Brighton, but is available again, and that's huge for the squad. Wesley Fofana and Andre Santos are also back in full training. Both has been out for a while, and while they might not start straight away, just having them back in the group lifts the energy. Then there is Joao Pedro and Moses Caicedo, both carrying a slight knock before the break. Neither went on international duties, which was smart management from Maresca. They have had time to recover, and both are expected to be fine for Forest. Our captain Reece James also had to pull out of that England squad after that Liverpool win. But what's coming out of Coburn? It's precautionary. A small knock, nothing major. There's a good chance he's ready to go again against Forest. Now a bit concerned from the Liverpool game. Josh Achampong and Benoit Badiashile both went off in what looked like tightness, but the club has downplayed it, calling the chances preventive, so nothing to panic about there. Sina Adrabayo is another one Maresca mentioned. He should be fit after the break, which is massive because it gives us option in defense again. But now not everything is perfect. Palmer has been dealing with recurring groin injuries. Maresca already confirmed he will be rested for 2 weeks to 3 weeks, maybe longer. He's not expected to feature against Forest, and his return is being targeted around November. And that's a big miss, especially how influential he has been in our attack. And Enzo Fernandez, another headache. He left Argentina duty early with the right knee inflammation. He's back in London and being assessed. But what we are hearing is that he won't be risked this weekend either. So no Palmer, no Enzo. But overall, it's the best Chelsea injury list we have looked since the start of the season. Now tactically, this is where it gets interesting, because Ange Post-no-glou Nottingham Forest is not the same Forest we have known in recent years. Under Nuno, they are a direct, counter-attacking team, sat deep, absorb pressure, go long and rely on moments. But now, it's the complete opposite. Ange Post-no-glou has gone in on all possession football. He wants control, movement and fluidity. You can actually see what he's trying to do, even if the result hasn't come yet. For the first time since 2022, Forest has managed over 500 passes in a single game. That's wide for a team that used to thrive off transition. Elliot Anderson, their creative midfielder, even completed 98 passes in one match, which tells you exactly how different this system is. They are trying to become a passing team, patient build-up, wide overload, and positional rotation. That looked a lot like what Post-no-glou tried at Tottenham. Forest often lines up in a 4-3-3, which morphs into a 3-4-3 when they attack. The fullback push high, one midfielder dropped in, and Morgan Gibbs-White, who has probably been their most intelligent player, drifts between the line, just behind Chris Wood. On paper, it's great football. They want to dominate the ball, dictate tempos, and create patterns that pull teams apart. But the problem, and it's a big one, is that they haven't found the defensive balance yet. The same issue Ange Post-no-glou faced at Tottenham has followed him here. When Forest loses the ball, they are open wide. The fullback are advanced, the centre-back gets isolated. The defensive midfielder is often too high. It's cost them a lot of goals, especially from set piece and transition. You can see the idea, but right now it's all theory and no stability. The optimism is that they will eventually click and make them more dangerous. And that's why this match feels so crucial. A win here doesn't just give Forest their first 3 points under Post-no-glou. It validates everything they are trying to build. If Nottingham Forest is going to get anything out of this game, it's going to come down to a few key players. The ones who actually makes Post-no-glou system tick. First up, Elliot Anderson. The numbers don't lie. He has been Forest's most creative heartbeat this season. an average rating of 7.16 in the Premier League, 1 assist already, and in one game completed 98 passes, the most any Forest player has managed in years. He's the guy who keeps the ball moving, dictate tempo, and link everything between attack and defense. If Forest are going to break us down, it's probably start through him. His distribution and work rates are what holds the midfield together. Then there is Morgan Gibbs-White, their captain, the man who used to be the creative engine under Nuno. This season his average rating of a 6.51, with just 1 assist so far, but you can still see what Post-no-glou is trying to do with him, pushing him higher, giving him license to float around Chris Wood, to make those late box runs and feed off Anderson passes. Ange himself said that Gibbs-White is one of the players he expects to flourish under his new system. If him and Anderson clicks, trust me, Forest will definitely have moments. And finally Chris Wood, the veteran striker who refuses to go away. 2 goals in Premier League already this season, and still their main outlet. He's not mobile but he's strong, clever, and he's a nightmare in the air. Post-no-glou uses him as a vocal point, someone who can hold it up, win duels, and bring others into play. Together, these 3 are spine off whatever attacking threat Nottingham Forest will pose. Anderson control, Gibbs-White creates, and Wood finishes. But here is the truth: it's a good 3 on paper, but yet without balance behind them. They are consistently exposed. If we press high, deny Anderson time, and stop these vertical passes into Gibbs-White, Forest will find it hard to breathe, and that's where our advantage lies. But now let me give you my predicted 11, or should I say preferred 11 for the game. Starting in goal, Robert Sanchez, honestly one of the most consistent performers this season. There has been rotation, there have been criticism, but Sanchez has quietly done his job every week. He starts, no question. And at right back is my captain, Reece James. We know what he brings: leadership, aggression, quality on the ball, and that drive going forward. The way he handled himself against Liverpool showed he can still be the heartbeat of this team. Centre backs, I'm going with Trevor Chalobah and Benoit Badiashile. Chalobah is back after that red card against Brighton, fresh, hungry, and ready to prove a point. Badiashile was brilliant against Liverpool, calm, composed, commanding. Together they make sense. That's balance of aggression and control. At left back, this one picks itself: Marc Cucurella. His energy, his recovery pace, and his link up down that flank has been crucial. And in my midfield pivot, I'll be going with Moises Caicedo and Romeo Lavia. With Enzo unavailable, this is the duo we all have been waiting to see more of. 2 ball winners, both technically sharp, both capable of progressing play. If they click, we'll dominate that midfield. And in the number 10, I'll be going with Joao Pedro. With Palmer still out, this feels like the most natural move. Joao Pedro thrives between the lines, quick turns, one-touch passes, intelligent movement, and is the link between midfield and attack. And on the right wing is Pedro Neto. Yes, his end product can frustrate sometimes, but his drive and directness are elite. He stretches defense, commits fullback, and creates chaos. Exactly what you want away from home. On the left is Alejandro Garnacho. Slowly finding rhythm, slowly growing into the team. He needs minutes, and this is the kind of game that brings out confidence. He's unpredictable, and that what makes him dangerous. And up top, I'll be going bold: McGill. We need his pressing, we need his work rate, his physicality, and the way he occupies centre back and creates space for others would be key in unlocking Forest's defensive block. Sometimes you need energy and intent more than experience, and McGill gives you exactly that. So yeah, that's my 11, a blend of structure, youth, and hunger. If we press them right, control the midfield, and move the ball with the same intensity we showed against Liverpool, this game is ours. Forest will have their moments, like they always do, but with our quality we should be taking all the 3 points. So I'll be going with a 3-1 Chelsea win. And with that said, that's the video, my friends. I hope you enjoy it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Igobi.